Hi, this is Eric Martin with Board Game Geek. I'm here with Peter Vaughn from Breaking Games, and Peter has a number of new titles to show of what Breaking Games is doing, and we will start with Rise of Tribes, which you had initially, how you described it to me initially at Toy Fair.
We're calling it like a Stone Age Civ game, but in 45 minutes. So
okay, there you go.
We've got all that packed in there. I'm really excited about this one. You are playing a Stone Age people, and you've got the board all set up. It'd be a fuller board than this, and it would be
more than 4 tiles.
More than 4 tiles. The whole world's out there too. You're going to grow your tribe. You're going to move across the land. You're going to lead your people and gather from the land. Okay. And as we all know, all tribes secretly want 15 points. It's a race to the points here.
All right.
And you could go about that a lot of different ways. You could do that with a tech strategy, get some pottery. You could go an area control strategy where it's like I have all the mountains. You could build villages, or you could go on a rampage and attack.
Okay.
So however you want to play it, you've got these player boards that are all the same pretty much on one side with a different village recipe. And then you flip to the other side and you've got the tribal leader. So a little bit like Eclipse in the sense that you could, once you're used to the game, you can go deeper and have some asymmetry in the way that the tribes behave.
Right.
But one of the things you do on your turn is you roll 2 dice, and then you pump those dice into one of the actions you want to take, and the recipe that's left determines how well you do with that action.
Okay.
So you can determine how it's going to go for other people by putting in some dice that are going to start to tank that ability. Or all of you could decide, wow, growing, it's the perfect time to grow right now. When you roll doubles, events happen like a mammoth, harsh winters, and stuff like that. So it's got a lot of texture in different ways. But like I said, all comes down to a 45 minute to an hour packed-in experience.
With these being the four
growing,
possibilities,
moving, leading, and gathering.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And there are certain actions in the event cards that you have to spend an entire die to do as well. So there's some choices in there where you're like, I want to do that instead. Like when the mammoth comes out and you're trying to decide to hunt that for food for the night.
Okay.
So. This particular game, Breaking Games does a lot of their publishing without Kickstarter. Mm-hmm. We thought this would be a really fun one to do as a community, so we're going to put it on Kickstarter on June 6th and have everybody decide what kind of tribe factions you want in there, what kind of powers you like, how do you want the components to be.
Okay.
We're going to have a lot of fun with this one.
Okay. There you go.
Thank you.
All right. 2 to 4?
2 to 4.
2 to 4.
That's right.
Players, that is.
2 to 4 players, 2 to 4 tribes.
Okay.
But we'll have at least 6 tribes to choose from in the box.
Okay. All right. And we have some other items.
I have a couple just covers I want to put out there because they're re-releasing. I mean, basically, we're a studio that works with indie designers that have maybe done their own Kickstarter or have an idea that, had an initial run. So King's Abbey has come out and been sold out for a long time. We found a way to not only get it cheaper, but also we're now coming back out with it. I'm really excited. It's a worker placement game. The king is commissioned in Abbey in these dark times, and everyone's got their own player board, building an abbey, putting buildings down. You have 9 dice that are your monks that can get resources that can help train peasants. Peasants start as unbaptized. You got to actually get them baptized. You don't want to like an unbaptized peasant in your blacksmith. You have to get them all ready to go, and then that unlocks more parts of the game. Really smooth play.
Okay.
So we're super excited about that one. That was like the deepest that we had when we started. It was like mostly a party game company,
right? And
so we had this title, and I said, well, especially with Rise of Tribes, let's make sure everybody has a gradual step up if they're not ready for this.
It's one pool and then King's Abbey.
When you're ready for this, though, this is a great experience.
Right.
And I also wanted to bring out another worker placement. Another re-release that I know a lot of people have been waiting for, asking for troubles. A sci-fi, wacky 2 to 7 player, and in worker placement world, 7 players would normally not work.
Yeah.
This one has a very fast turn, and it's bumping, so you're going over the galaxy as a Boba Fett type, a trouble hunter, trying to find these troubles, throw them into the sun, get rid of them for the planet of paradise. Okay. You're circling around in these really iconic, cute mini ships. Let's see if I have a ship over here. Very, ships you'll recognize from, iconic sci-fi. You've got like say that one over there.
Put it out here.
You know, we've got a bunch of ships that are really fun to play. Like I said, it's actually 2 to 7 and it's very fast. Fun worker placement, and it was sold out, and now we're bringing it back and getting it down to 45 from its 65 original.
And a less orange presentation.
Less orange, yes, but
that's right.
We have the next version's gonna have new art.
Okay.
The designer actually has stayed with us the whole time and has listened to all the feedback and said, I'm gonna fix this and this and this, and now even cheaper. So.
Okay. All right.
I wanted to. Speaking of sci-fi, I just wanted to bring this one out because it just came out, and I don't know how many people know. It's a 3D rotating board. So you're a prison inmate on this moon planet, and no one's realized that the core is unstable, and all of a sudden you're all free trying to get to the only rocket there is.
Okay.
You're zapping each other. You're trying to escape the guard. It's really good for family game night. And it's got a basic way that you can set up the board and an advanced way you can make it super fun with lava and all sorts of other things in there.
I saw a lot of people playing at PAX East. It was a lot of tables there.
We've got a game called Aura.
That's right, which we filmed an overview last.
Yes, Aura had a very interesting road in that it's amazing sometimes a game goes into development and it goes in the printer, and then it can spend some time where the printer in this one, getting the Pantones right, getting the cards to work out with the very thin lines and everything else. It's difficult, but it came out as a very aesthetic game, and I'm very excited for when people find out how strategic this game is.
Right.
For me, I played against the designer and was blown away because you're playing the game essentially twice. You've got, he's from Michael Ryan is from a Magic the Gathering background, plays Hearthstone, wants to share that with your family. So it's an all numbered suit. You've got 1 through 8 as opposed to, like a monster with trample.
Right.
Okay. And you're just saying, okay, I know an 8 beats a 7, and then you've got another layer that can be added to it after you're used to that. And you play the game twice so that what cards your deck is your life, so you've got 50 points to start the game, and what is left, what goes underneath your deck for round 2 is what you've saved to be there.
Right.
So all of a sudden, you're playing the next round, and you're ready for, that person's got mostly their red cards left and 7s, and I'm going to be ready for that with my cards.
Right.
So a lot of fun with this one.
That sounded fascinating. We talked about it last year. And this one is out now?
It's coming out this next month, and it's for $25, so it's a pretty easy pickup in my book. I want to talk about another one that we have coming out, a really fun game called Expancity. This is a little bit like a SimCity meets Legos. In a sense, you've got that you're building a city with the other players, competitively, of course. Okay. And what you've got here on the table is you've got 2 tiles in your hand. You're deciding what to add to the board, starting with a city hall and adding. Are we going back this way?
Yeah, we can show right here.
Okay, sure. So you've got, say I'm deciding what to add to the table, and you're, say, adding a residential tile. You're going to then place, a building. You've got several actions. One is to construct new buildings. Another one is to actually go on the board here. There's all sorts of fun zoning regulations. Like you can't instantly make this
fun zoning regulations,
right? You have to prove to the city that you can make a residential of level 1 and cap it with a rooftop before you can build a residential that's level 2.
Okay.
And you've got, anytime you complete one, you score the bonuses of orthogonally around the building. It can't be affected from that point, so you want to do it at its high point.
Right.
And then you're going to get secret contract goals that will tell you, hey, maybe you want to build a short commute would be build a 5-story commercial next to a 2-story residential.
Okay.
Or build 2 next to the police station, that kind of thing. And the table at the end is a unique experience every time, a unique skyline.
Okay.
So we're targeting this one for Gen Con and $50, so I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Okay.
So after Expancity, I want to talk about, thank you, the loser gets to destroy the city like Godzilla, so that would be how you do that anyway.
Okay.
Trellis is a game from Teal Fristo. He's made Corporate America and Shadow Throne, a lot of fun games, and self-published. But he said, I'd like to see one of my games come out from someone else doing all the publishing.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a very fun game of Zen and Blossoms. Okay, so you've got 15 flowers. The object of the game is just to get out the flowers. There's a lot of math under there, but you don't see that. You just see a pretty landscape. So when you're playing a tile, you might play this tile. You're allowed to put a flower on the new tile on any one of the vines, and if it connects to the same color, you can bloom onto that tile. Okay, but you can also give someone a gift, which is a lot of fun. You could set it up like this. Could be, let's pretend I had, or actually let's do it like this. All right, now, so I'm gonna place this tile, say, and it actually helps someone bloom automatically, because that once I place this tile, they bloom before I take my placement.
Right.
Why would I do that? They're almost out of flowers, right? But when you do that, you're going to get your placement, plus you're going to get a gift for every flower that you gave someone else. And when the tile's full up where you're going, you can then place the gift anywhere, which then also blooms. So you've got lots of fun. You're helping other people, but you're really trying to get yourself out of flowers there.
Okay.
So pretty clean and simple game that we think you could play anywhere with no language dependence, so it'll be a lot of fun.
Okay. All right.
So after Trellis,
Comes in a hexagonal case.
yes,
for-
we're embracing the hex.
Yes, yes.
We'll have a fun. There's lots of fun actually expansions planned for that one. So I'll tell you about those when we have them.
Okay.
Sparkle Kitty. We are a party company at heart, so I did want to make sure that our lineup included a really fun party game for this year. Sparkle Kitty is a game where you're a princess trapped in a tower, and we have a bunch of different, princesses to choose from. We've a total of 12. Where all the other ones are hiding. But what happens is, you've been captured by the evil Sparkle Kitty. Okay, you've been naughty, and now you can only say sugar and spice words. But you're still going to break out, and you're not going to wait for anyone to do it. You're going to get out on your own. So you have a hand of cards, and there'll be a spell book on the table, and you're going to be playing either matching a color or symbol, and then saying the magic words.
Okay.
Right? So huggy spooky or spooky huggy, however you want to do it. Now, after you've played, you'll have a hand of cards that is your tower. Okay, and that's what you're trying to break out of. Let's make sure we get it all on there. And the first person to get out of cards on their tower wins. And how you do that is after you get a hand of, after you're out of cards, you pull the first one off your tower, and then you draw back up to 5.
Okay.
But that's the slow way. If, while someone else is playing, you have a word that matches, you could say double spooky, double whatever the word is, or triple, and that takes 1 off for a double, 2 off for a triple. That's faster. And you can also play dark magic. Like I could say fabulous, you can play this next to your princess. Now I'm saying fabulous, huggy, spooky. The cool thing about dark magic is I get to add 1 from my hand to somebody else's tower. The bad thing about dark magic is now I've got to remember to say this with the combo of words every time.
Okay.
We've got an alternate where you actually have to keep stacking them and say them all.
Okay.
It's silly, it's funny. There's 4 to 8 players can play, and it's a pretty cheap price point. So if you're looking for that just like quick one to throw down on the table, have everybody laugh,
Okay.
play with your family. It's kid friendly, so obviously if you could say the word huggy and spooky, you could play. So.
All right.
That's I have one more, if you don't mind. Also in the cute category, Flippin' Monsters. Okay, so Flippin' Monsters is actually by the designer of Asking for Troubles. So there's troubles in here, actually. So in Flippin' Monsters, it's a set collection memory game. You start off with 10 monsters that you have face down. And on your turn, you're going to flip any 5.
All right.
Okay? What we all know about monsters that are perhaps living under the bed is that they like candy and they like socks. Okay, that's this game. You're gonna flip them over, and so you're gonna see an economy of candy and socks on there. And after you flipped over your initial ones, some of them are not as good. But when you flip over those, you're going to have other piles of monsters that you can acquire. And the cost to get those is on the card. When you acquire one, you put it here, and now on each turn you're going to try to remember where are all those monsters that I want. But on any turn, you can bank unique monsters and capture them for points. Now that takes away from your economy a little bit, but if you start to bank the ones you don't need, you can set collect as you're going. As soon as one of the decks runs out of monsters, and there's 5 out there, then the game's over and everyone adds up their sets.
Okay.
There's at least 14 monsters in there, so there's a lot of and different powers that I've shown you. So it gets to be really fun for kids, engaging. But if you're a serious gamer like Chris is, who made the game, it can get quite competitive. So, thank you.
All right.
That was a whirlwind of games.
You gotta push this all in here. It's like this giant train game here coming along.
If anyone, I mean, we have a lot of products. There's. I will tell you, there's even more coming in 2017 that I haven't mentioned. So if you have any questions about these, happy to answer them on Board Game Geek in our forums or on our website, breakinggames.com.
Okay. All right.
Appreciate it.
Thanks very much, Peter, for the overview.
Thank you.
Some of the titles coming from Breaking Games.
Yeah,
You have
we're
a
addicted.
big booth at Gen Con. You'll have
We're a Gen Con sponsor, and we'll have the full Rise of Tribes experience and the full Expancity. Lots of room to play those games for people who want to check these out.
Okay. All right.
Origins as well.
All right. Thanks very much.
Cheers.
We'll see you
Appreciate
there.
it.
Bye.
All right. Well, your streamers have been going all day.
That's right.
Yes. Both Asking for Troubles and King's Abbey, both of the games are at the printer. So that's great news. We just saw a sample of King's Abbey, so it's going to be very soon. And we also have the Trouble ships are running now. So with luck, we'll have it in the early summer, but by the big cons of summer for sure.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. We're very excited about those getting back out there.
Monkey Explosion!
Monkey Explosion is good. I like Devastation. The purple cards are like Devastation and Riot and
That's
some
right.
of those. So, Otter is always a fun word that gets combined. Otter Devastation. I don't know why, but it's funny to see these combos.
That's right. All right.
There's wild cards as well where you can play rainbows and fudge and double rainbows, stuff like that.
Double rainbows.
Double rainbows, that's the way to go.
All right.
Infinite rainbows. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Peter.
Absolutely.